Real stories, real people, real impact. It's Nonfiction November, and I've got some incredible stories to share. Hi, I am Casey. Welcome back to my channel. So I have just finished, if I can get a hold of it, Egypt's Golden Couple by, I need to read John Darnell and Colleen Darnell. This is about Nefertiti and Akhenaten. And they are, I feel anyway, I have not read a lot of Egyptian nonfiction, but anytime I search for it, this is the couple that usually almost immediately comes up in a search, because Akhenaten, who changes his name again, and I cannot pronounce it. I struggle with Egyptian names so bad, guys. Anyway, because Akhenaten took the Egyptian culture from polytheism to an era of monotheism. It wasn't necessarily true monotheism. I mean, I guess technically it really was. But everybody else was still worshiping the other gods. And as soon as he had died and was buried, anything that he created or did was destroyed to take it back to polytheism. So that is what he is famous for. This book goes over his life mostly, his father's life and reign, and it talks about Nefertiti. We learn about art, apparently, and something I didn't know was that a darker tone was used for men and a lighter tone was used for women, and to depict, like, you know, which gender it was. So I have never even thought of that as a thing, so that was really cool. So yes, I'm struggling to think of how to put this because there was a lot. I'm giving this book 4 stars. I thought it was done well. I thought it was written well. It was narrated well. But I do, when that much information is condensed into a book, I do have trouble retaining everything. If I want to know more about this particular time period and couple in the future, I'm going to need to go back and probably physically read the book and take some highlights, maybe make some notes. But I enjoyed it. I love Egyptian culture. Egyptian culture and Scottish culture and histories are like my top 2, hand in hand. I'm fascinated. So I'm going to make this into a vlog. I believe I've got something from the Scottish side of my interest coming up next. It will be by Alistair Moffat. I'm just not sure which one I'm going to do. I have a couple of different options, and it's just going to depend on where it falls in line with my other Kindle reads and my couple of books that I have on audio checked out from Libby. So I will update you as soon as I've got my next one picked and I have read it. Hey everyone, so I was really hoping that I would get a chance to vlog these separately, but I didn't, so we're going to do a 2-for-1 wrap-up of my nonfiction November, because I am done with nonfiction for now, and there's a couple reasons why, which I'll get to in a little bit. So the first Scottish nonfiction book that I finished was Scotland's Forgotten Past by Alistair Moffat. This was really cool. I wasn't sure what to expect. I just really like Alistair Moffat's writing, so if it has to do with Scottish history and he's written it, it goes on my TBR. So this is not, it is chronological, but it's not like your average history lesson. It takes like these snippets and unknown things of Scotland's history and it talks about it. I listened to the audio. I would say, if I remember correctly, there's like 38 chapters, or 37 with an epilogue. And each snippet, listening to it was probably about 10 minutes. So it's not a lot, not super detailed, but it's just those certain things that, you know, like you didn't know. One of my favorite ones was Peter Pan, the story behind Peter Pan. I did not know that that originated from Scotland, which honestly, Peter Pan's one of my favorite Disney stories. I love Tinkerbell. She is sassy. I am sassy. Yeah. And I guess the fairy part makes sense too, because Scotland and Ireland have a lot of like fairy mythology tales. So anyway, that was my favorite one. And I learned a lot of cool things that I didn't know, like the things that you're not going to find in a history book or like your typical nonfiction book. This is a nice collection. I'm sure there's more. I gave this one 4 stars because I really enjoyed it so much. I'm going to have to go through it again and reread it. I liked it. And then the other one was, I read this one in a day, guys. It was good. This is The Highland Clans, also by Alistair Moffat, which I gave 4 stars. I don't know if I can do that or not. I won't do that. The writing is very tiny, but it's only like 172 pages. And that's if you read all the small descriptions about each clan at the back of the book. I actually didn't do that, so I technically didn't read the whole thing, but I read like the main part of the book. And then if I ever want to know like a little bit about a clan, I will check out chapter 11. So this one, it's chronological. It goes from, past to about 19th century, maybe a little bit in the 20th century. And it talks about like the development of the clans, clan clashes. It talks about Culloden, obviously. If you know anything about Scottish history, you know that that is the final battle between the English and the Scottish people. And it was like, after that, the Highland way of life was extremely looked down upon. It was all but obliviated. And even today, and it talks about in this book as well, how the Gaelic language is like all but non-existent. I have seen a couple things on other YouTube channels and Facebook that they are trying to revive the language. But like, how sad is that? That it's another language, like our Native American languages. Some of them don't exist anymore. Yeah. So Alistair Moffat also really, he writes nonfiction in a way that still hits you in the feels. And to me, that is magical. I was feeling rather like emotionally heavy after I finished this book. And I like books that make me feel that way, that make me want to take an action, that make me think about what could have been done differently. I don't know much about like Scottish life right now or like the history in the making, but I'm very interested to know like what, if anything, is being done to revive any of the Highland culture. So this book also has really great pictures and artwork. I don't know if I've said it or not already, but I did give it 4 stars. So yeah, this one will sit with me for a while. Nonfiction doesn't necessarily do that, but this one will. So I am wrapping up my nonfiction November. I did have one more book on my TBR, The Faded Map by Alistair Moffat, but I am not going to be reading that at this time. I want to move on to other things. And I do have it checked out on Hoopla. I'm going to try some suggestions for like my issues that I'm having with Hoopla. If I try to play it more than 1 times speed, it garbles and stutters and skips. We just don't get along very well, Hoopla and I. So yeah, and that's where I was going to read The Faded Map. I do have a notification tag for it on Libby, should it ever become available. I really hope it does. I would like to get it done on audio instead of reading it on my Kindle. But I have created another TBR for some nonfiction books that I didn't get to this year. I just don't know when I'm going to get to that. I'm at a point where I'm just not going to rush it. So to wrap things up, please subscribe, pick another video to watch, which you'll find on the screen. And I wish you very happy reading.